G'day everybody, welcome back to Sprouts Tarot. So for this week ahead reading, I've decided to separate it into three different categories. So the first one is love and relationships. The second is work, career, and also any community projects that you're kind of volunteering for. And the last one is finances. So just go by intuition. What you're picking up is basically the deck and the crystal energy. And look at the timestamp in the comment section down below, and I'll see you over the other side. Welcome back, Group 1. So if you pick love and relationships, this is the reading for the week ahead. So the two grounding cards that I've got for you today is the Ivy and Vervain. Now, these two cards actually work wonderfully together, and they fell out like simultaneously. This is why I have two grounding cards today. So the Ivy is the card that tells you to go within. Maybe a little bit like very light shadow work or self-analysis is required at this time, because you need to understand the way that you perceive reality and how you react to it is going to be very important in this week. And Vervain actually complements this because it is an energy of reconciliation. So this could mean with yourself and another person, or it could be reconciling to like people who have kind of, had an altercation of some sort, and you're put in the middle. So you have to kind of explain both sides of the story. So these two energies are actually working really well. So even if at the beginning of the week, there's a little bit of confusion, towards the end, you are able to basically remedy the situation. So it seems quite positive. Now the tea leaf, yeah, sorry, frog in my throat. So the tea leaf we're going to use later for extra hints for this week. But right now what we're going to do is find you a significator for this coming week. So what is your overall energy in terms of relationships? And then we're going to see what's actually happening. So what's the significator for Group 1, please? What's the significator for Group 1? Oh. Oh, so maybe this particular relationship thing has been going on for quite some time. Okay, King of Cups, you're taking control this week. Excellent. Okay, let's see what's ahead. Let's see what's ahead. What's actually happening this week? It's a very good energy, by the way. King of Cups, you're very solid. We need to get a message card. Can we? Yep, we can just fit another one in. Okay, let's see what lies at the bottom. Oh, okay, so it is, yep. All right, now I'll reveal this later at the bottom of the deck. So the page, we've actually got a message. Let's see, let's use our tea leaf today. Okay, so Page of Cups, what is it that you have to tell us? Oops. I don't take these bundles which fall out, just basically the singular card. Celebration, joy, fun and enjoyment. Good. So that's the energy behind this. Okay. All right. So what do we have here? So this week you are definitely going to be in charge of your emotions. So it doesn't matter what the situation that comes into your life is, you'll have it under control. So as you can see, this king here, he's holding on to his cup, which is the emotional state. It's very firm. His hand is on his heart, so he truly understands the way he thinks. And that's the most positive thing that you can actually do is to understand yourself in a situation rather than try to control many other factors. So right now, what it seems is that underlying this week's energy has been maybe a process that has been going on for quite some time, in which there has been some sort of misunderstanding, especially regarding each other's love language. So over here in this little story about the little prince, the way that he takes care of his rose and the way that she wants him to take care of him basically lie on two different planes, and hence he cannot understand her ways. And so the love language that she exercises towards him and him to her basically is in conflict. So underlying this Page of Cups, who is kind of a little inebriated. So this means trying to forget basically the crux of the matter is going to come to an end. And this, like I said, this particular issue in the relationship has been going on for quite some time, because once there are these major arcanas coming through, it means the script is pretty much written. So basically you're just waiting for the results to come in. So there is going to be some confrontation. So it doesn't have to be nasty, okay? So it just means that you will have an opportunity to speak about this, to do something about it this week, because what's underlying this opportunity is a big change in the cycle of this relationship overall. Okay, so that's the most important thing. So if you take a look at these characters that forms the Little Prince's world, they were all very, very important characters. One is his love. The next is his friendship. The third one, the snake here, is his liberator. And the sheep here was his responsibility plus creativity. So this confrontation, or this opportunity for you to resolve the differences, could be about these 4 topics. So maybe within the relationship, what does the love condition actually feel like at this stage? So you know how sometimes we slip into, the mode of complacency. So that could be a little bit of an issue. Sometimes we do need more guidance, especially from people who have moved past different stages in a relationship that can give us guidance. So everybody knows about the 7-year itch. There comes a time about that time where everybody's kind of hankering for something new, but then doesn't want to let go of the security. And so usually when you can iron that particular phase out, things basically renew themselves, and it's another spring, which is what the snake is, because the snake is the serpent, which bears wisdom, but also regeneration. And once you regenerate, there's new creativity via the sheep, because in the story of the Little Prince, the sheep is actually his imagination that eventually manifests through his meeting of the pilot. So these 4 elements in a person's life is actually very important, and it's also very important in terms of a relationship cycle. So once this particular moment happens where you both can air your grievances or explain what you need in order for the relationship to move ahead, there is going to be a new idea to solve the existing problems. And once you can solve the existing problems, new feelings will begin. Because as you can see here, this is the beginning of a new energy. And okay, I love the story of the Little Prince. But this is the beautiful thing about the rose, what the little rose said to the Little Prince before he actually left his home planet. And she said, because, let's go back. Over here, the way that she wants to be looked after is not the same way that he was looking after her, because her ego is quite big and she wants to be acknowledged as being very rare and very special. Whereas the Little Prince's love language is one of accommodation rather than basically playing up to her ego responses. So sometimes, how we say things that we don't really mean because we want something else. Okay, so over here, she insists that the Little Prince cover her with this glass cage so she doesn't get cold at night. And so the little prince is thinking inside his mind, but she's a wild flower. She should be able to withstand the cold, etc. And also she is very proud of the little thorns that she can grow, because she was saying that these little thorns can protect her from tigers and lions. And so the little prince thought she was a little bit of a braggart, like she just speaks too much. And then he thought, I can't get along with this rose, as beautiful as she is. I don't know how to love this ego of this beautiful creation. So finally, when the little prince does decide to leave, the rose says, can you take the glass off? And the little prince was saying, but won't you get cold from the draft? And she goes, if I am to understand the beauty of butterflies, then I have to let go of this protective cover that I have. And so hence you get this formation here with the little caterpillar chomping a little bit of the kind of a stem system of this rose. So this means if you actually want to see how beautiful something can be, you do have to withstand some discomfort. So this idea, after this particular opportunity to basically air your grievances, will give rise to a new suggestion for the relationship that will renew the love bond. And hence you get the brand new start all over again, where basically you're coming forth with this new energy of love for this relationship. So this week it's it's basically a healing stage, and it's because underlying all this there was some disappointment in the relationship. So like I said, this episode is not going to relate just this week. It's been kind of like a slow build up, but this week is a really good time for you to let go of the old, find a solution for the problem, because there's a celebration energy, and that's what the Page of Cups is actually telling you. Once this process is done, you will have fun again in this relationship. So that's all I have for you today. Thank you as always for allowing me to read for you, and I look forward to seeing you again next time. Bye. Welcome back, Group 2. So if you picked the work and career section, then the underlying energy for you this week is something small is going to parlay itself into becoming something very important. So this generally means either the first step towards a new thing, for example, starting a new job, starting a new section, or starting a new project, or it can mean an existing job, project, or position that has been in some sort of a blockage finally gets that first burst of life, that light, that epiphany moment where you go, oh yeah, that's what we need to do in order to move ahead. So either way, what happens this week is going to roll over and have a very big effect later on, and it's positive. So what we're going to do right now is to see what the actual energy of this particular point is, and see how this week actually goes, what will actually happen this week. Okay, so first of all, let's try to get a significator for your work and career this week. So what is the significator for Group 2, please? What is the significator for Group 2, please? Oh, Queen of Wands. Beautiful. Wow, good. All right, so what's the rest of the story for this week? So growth. Oh, okay. Let's have these. Oh, very good. Wow. It's moving ahead, isn't it? Ha ha ha. Ooh. Okay, let's not unveil this first. Let's just see what this is all about. Okay, I'm interested in... Whoa, there are 3 characters here. Isn't that incredible? We've got the whole court. Wow, we've got the whole court here, almost. All right, that's... Okay. Can I get clarification? Can I get clarification for this Empress, please? Clarification for the Empress, please. Okay, let's just see. Wealth. Fly. Warning of a future problem. Okay, let's see. Either now or future problem. Okay. Let's just put this here. Can we see these cards? No. Where shall I put them so you can see them? Put them here, here, and here. Okay. So remember the breakthrough. Okay, so that's going to be the theme. Now the significator card here is the Queen of Wands. Now the Queen of Wands is somebody who is very controlled in the way that they handle things which matter to them. That's number one. Another thing is that this current work situation that you have is already under control. It is moving along steadily. And the problem here is that this particular card, this is the issue. This is that block. So what we were talking about here, so this is an existing thing. So it's not a new movement or a new entrance position into something. This is already existing. It's already growing. And the problem here is this one. Now, they're both looking at this way, feels as though she's under attack, or she cannot get out of a situation in which there are too many different conflicting opinions. So if you take a look at this card here, a lot of these swords are kind of pointed directly at her, and she's trying to stop one from actually piercing her vital organs, so it seems. So there is some sort of feeling that, well, there's tension in the air. But under this tension is something bigger than that, because this entire project it has grounding in something bigger than this actual problem. So over here, once again, this is like group 1. You've got these major movements here, which means that the project is not going to be something that you can fully rein in now, because the process has already begun, but it hasn't ended yet. You're not towards the end yet at all, but it is coming soon. This particular problem is coming to an end. The obstacle is coming to an end. Okay, so what it looks like superficially this week is very good. On the surface, it is very good. There's a renewal of hope, and also there is comfort and feeling or stability coming back towards the project, and it will continue to grow. In fact, there could be a new direction that is taken towards this project, and it would be announced in a meeting of some sort, because there will be a formal declaration of this movement that's going to happen. It's going to be made by a higher up. Okay, so as you can see, this prince moving here, underlying that is the King of Pentacles. So this is a message from the higher up. All the team members or teamwork that has existed so far, once this particular problem is highlighted and noted, is going to stop, and basically the differences will be reconciled. Okay, so this 7 of Swords here, okay, is going to have its judgment, which means this King of Pentacles is going to make his decision on how to treat this particular issue, which results in a satisfactory answer. And then after that, the project will continue to grow because basically the conflict or the ill feelings are neutered. So it's generally a very, very good thing. So this warning you of a problem either now or in the future, this is just to tell you to be very, very careful that this issue, when you have this opportunity to resolve it, please resolve it fully. So so you don't have those carry-on feelings of ill will that can kind of like percolate and then simmer and then grow into something more like toxic. So this is also like a warning, or this could have preceded this. So maybe there was a slight period where you didn't feel so well in regards to this whole dynamic. But what is moving this project ahead is that it is very profitable. And so this King of Pentacles energy has stepped down to actually formally make a judgment on this Seven of Swords energy or this conflict at the moment, and basically like finish with this kind of dilemma. Let's see what's lying at the bottom. Oh, the Chariot. Yeah, things are going to move ahead. Things are definitely going to move ahead. So the Chariot card here, as you can see, this one is actually galloping forth. Okay. So after this announcement made, the project can once again proceed. The Chariot is also the card of Cancer as well, which means, and I'm talking about the astrological zodiacal sign, the Cancer, right? It is a situation in which the outside seems impenetrable and really hard and resilient, but inside that there's like a softness, like a vulnerable area. So once again, make sure whatever like any little knots still left, make sure that they're ironed out before you continue with or agreeing to continue under this particular weight, because if you don't, in the future a similar incident might crop up again. Okay, but generally it's very good. Outwardly it looks amazing. It looks amazing outwardly. So yeah, it seems as though this week things will get ironed out, so there's not much to worry about. Okay, as always, thank you for allowing me to read for you, and I look forward to seeing you again. Bye. Welcome back, Group 3. So if you pick the Finances card, it looks like this week you're going to make a critical decision. Now, why do I say that? Because I've got two grounding cards here. One is this lovely heather plant, but it is in reverse, and then I've got agrimony as well. Now, these two cards combined together tells me that you are detecting something that doesn't really belong, and you are okay to let that go. So in terms of finance, what could that possibly mean? Well, it could be stocks that you have in your portfolio. It could be certain positions that you've taken out that are not performing the way that you expected, and maybe you've done kind of maybe a long-term analysis or an analysis regarding the time frame that you were prepared to invest in, and you realize it's not going to basically recover by that certain date, so you're ready to let go. Or basically if you've been lending people money and there's one particular borrower who's never returned it, and instead of having sleepless nights trying to recuperate that money, you've decided, I'm just going to let go because I'm never going to get it anyway, but I've learnt my lesson and I'm never going to lend to that particular friend again. So something along those lines. It's recognizing something is no longer fruitful and having the ability to cut your losses. That's the main theme for money this week. Okay, so let's see, what is the significator card for this particular week in terms of finances? Okay, let's have one more little shuffle. Okay, can I get a significator for Group 3, please? Can I get a significator for Group 3? Oh, can I get a significator for group 3? Oh, there we go. Oh, nice. Things are balancing. Beautiful. Confirmation from the tarot. Okay, so what's this all about? Oh. Temperance. Oh, twos, straight away, leading to 9. This is wonderful. Okay. What is all this? This is wicked. Oh, wow. Okay, wait. This is just bizarre, isn't it? Wow. Okay. So, first of all, this balancing thing is really big this week. It's really big this week. So, yeah, it is feeling like basically that the situation is pretty much irredeemable, because if you take a look at this 4 of Cups here, it is a little bit of boredom setting in, but maybe the past of this particular project has brought you a lot of happiness before, and you can look back in hindsight and feel it was a good thing in your life at the time, but maybe it's not so good to carry forth, and simply because it's already reached the completion cycle where things are already very good. So maybe it's harvest time. And if you continue to hold the next cycle, you're not probably going to be so sure of. So you'll be in a kind of, if you leave it for longer, probably more of a catch-22 thing where you cannot leave because you've already begun it and it's not long enough. But if you kind of like leave it, then you cut out possible profits or more profits in the future if you continue. So it does look like this week there is a decision to be made, and maybe you've been thinking about this decision for quite some time already, because you've been having these thoughts. You've been doing it alone though. You have been having a lot of alone time where you've been doing your own research regarding what to do with this particular portfolio or this particular financial situation. The thing that is really, really difficult is, in order to grow, there has to be a situation in which the 2 elements which are important can have some synergy. And I think the synergy here will become entanglement. Does that make sense? So now what does this mean financially? It means something like this. Say you, say you invested in antimony a few years ago, and this was before the trade war. It is a rare metal, so you put a lot on antimony, and that was a really, really good decision at the time, because antimony is basically used in everything, especially in the AI field and EV field, etc. Blah, blah, blah. They're one of the rare metals. But however, now because of this Trump trade war and the tit for tat antics by the US and China's correspondence to Trump's tactics, antimony is on the list of rare metals that's going to be banned. So over here, wow, you know the future is definitely in antimony, because EVs and renewable energies are not going to decrease in use, they're going to increase. However, if this rare metals embargo or limitation set by China continues, the actual companies which support it may tank, unless you can get a direct listing in the Hong Kong Exchange, for example. So this is what I mean by the entanglement, that it can grow and you can see underlying that there is a lot of potential for this. However, if you hold it, then you become beholden to this devil energy, which means the devil is basically just not being able to do something freely because of a constraint. And sometimes it is a self-perceived constraint, but other times in terms of finance, it could be a very real one, like these government moves. And we are going to have a lot of government turbulence still until all the way 2026 astrologically. It's going to be like, it's going to be a circus until then. So I think that's why this week you're probably going to make a decision of some sort. It's the same with Tesla, like the Tesla stocks. Is this actually a good time to buy? Is this just going to be another Elon Musk dip, or is this going to be a permanent reversal of the fortune? So that's why if you're holding stocks of that nature, this is that energy that's playing. There is potential, but it comes with a lot of strings attached. And this week is a time where you make a concrete decision to maybe let it go, because it has definitely brought you benefits in the past, even though now you're in a state of kind of melancholy towards it. But the underlying energy here is there's a lot of hope guiding this. So it's not as if this is the only thing that you've dumped all your money in. It looks as though you've got kind of like a diversified portfolio, or whatever money system that you have got going on. It's not all your eggs in this one particular basket. It seems as though this week's energy is saying that you can afford to cut this one particular egg and maybe enjoy an omelette. I don't know. Okay, let's see if we can get something from the tea leaf to basically round off this reading. Is there anything that we can get to round off this reading? Spiritual development, enlightenment, awareness, and understanding. Yeah. So if you want to look on a higher plane, this particular financial issue is actually connected to a value system. All money issues are connected to value systems that we have inside. So on a higher perspective, which is what this card is coming out to say, is that are you ready to release certain energies back out to the universe, so for new energy to come in? So that's a higher lesson. Wow, you get a little spiritual ding ding thing here, so which is lovely. Okay, so as always, thanks for allowing me to read for you, and I look forward to seeing you again next time. Bye.